Martin Luther King Jr. was a man who changed the course of history, not with weapons or wealth, but with words, courage, and an unshakable belief in justice. He was a Baptist minister, a leader of the American Civil Rights Movement, and a moral voice whose influence reached far beyond his own lifetime. Above all, he was a man who believed that love could transform a nation. Born in 1929 in Atlanta, Georgia, King grew up witnessing the harsh reality of racial segregation in the United States. Guided by his Christian faith and inspired by the philosophy of nonviolence, he chose a path of peaceful resistance to injustice. His leadership first gained national attention in 1955 during the Montgomery bus boycott, when African Americans refused to ride segregated buses after Rosa Parks was arrested. The boycott lasted over a year and ended with a Supreme Court decision that declared bus segregation unconstitutional. It was an early and powerful example of how peaceful protest could bring real change. As a founder and president of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, King helped organize nonviolent protests across the country. He led marches, gave speeches, and endured arrests and threats, all while urging his followers to respond to hatred with dignity and discipline. His Letter from Birmingham Jail, written in 1963, became one of the most important texts of the civil rights movement, explaining why waiting for justice was no longer acceptable. That same year, King stood before hundreds of thousands of people at the March on Washington and delivered his most famous speech, "I Have a Dream." In it, he painted a vision of a nation where equality and brotherhood would replace discrimination and fear. His words stirred the conscience of America and helped build support for major civil rights legislation, including the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965. In 1964, Martin Luther King Jr. became the youngest person at the time to receive the Nobel Peace Prize, honoring his commitment to nonviolent struggle for human rights. Yet he never saw his work as finished. In his final years, he spoke out against poverty and injustice wherever they appeared, believing that true equality required economic opportunity and global peace. Though his life was tragically cut short in 1968, his legacy endures. Martin Luther King Jr. showed the world that one voice, grounded in courage and compassion, can awaken millions. He reminded us that progress is possible when people stand together with moral purpose. Today, he is remembered not only as a leader of his time, but as a timeless symbol of hope, justice, and the enduring power of love.